In 1997, I came across a new movie called The Game. It was unlike any movie that I'd ever seen before. The premise of it was there's a lead character who is having a birthday, and he had a major loss in his life. His father died in one of those unfortunate kinds of situations, and he struggled with it, and he's in this kind of midlife crisis situation. He receives a card, I believe, from his brother, and it's an invitation to go to a particular address, and it was a happy birthday kind of message. And so he goes, he walks into this sort of cryptic organization and room, and for the next number of hours or however long it was, they ask him all sorts of questions. They're clearly doing some kind of psychological assessment of him, and in-depth psychological assessment of him. And he leaves and he goes home, and it seems as if it's done. They basically said, thank you for your time, and it seemed sort of pointless. He didn't know really the purpose of it. Lo and behold, he gets home, and someone breaks into his house, and it unfolds that he is in a game where reality meets this game design, that they had done this detailed psychological profile of him and designed a game that catered to his specific joys, fears, challenges, struggles, everything else. And the movie culminates in a really powerful way where he comes to a cathartic realization, and there's a major celebration. And it's obviously a fictional movie, and it probably couldn't be represented in real life. But to me, I was intrigued by this concept of a person finding themselves uncertain about whether or not they're dealing with just the regular real world or they're in some kind of game, and it goes back and forth. Welcome to the world of alternate reality games. Alternate reality game participants and designers have been around for a long time, for decades, and there are many examples of them that are present and past, some that have been used for marketing purposes, some that have been designed for purposes that we don't know even to this day, and they're still going on. But basically what it is it's an immersive story using real-world platforms. In the digital age, we're often using YouTube videos and social media messages and websites and cryptic names that don't exist that lead you somewhere, GPS coordinates. There are actors sometimes, people in the real world. Maybe you're going to a coffee shop and the barista is actually a character in the game, and if you use the right code word, they give you a coffee cup with a clue or a message underneath it. You could be getting phone calls. You call a phone number and you get a voice message, and the voice message is part of the game. So they're using a lot of different digital media, but still there are alternate reality games that are making use of the physical world. It could be messages that are hidden in cryptic ways, in signs that you drive by every day, or billboards on the side of the road, or advertisements that appear in media and other things like that. And it always has some kind of story or theme. You don't always know the story. It's unfolding as you're participating in it. You may not even know the full purpose of the game. You just find yourself participating and interacting, and your curiosity and the novelty and the mystery of it sometimes draws people deeper and deeper into it. In fact, some alternate reality games don't even announce themselves. There may be a cryptic message on Fortran or Discord or some other place online, and people begin to track it down and follow it and find out that there seems to be some kind of method to the madness, some kind of design to be decoded, or some narrative to join into. In alternate reality games, you're not just watching a game, you are a participant. You are one of the characters in the game, and it may be multiple people playing different roles. You don't know who's an actor and who's just a regular participant in the game. It can be a disorienting kind of experience. Now, some alternate reality games are time-bound and they're space-bound, so there have been some famous ones like designed in a library, and it starts at a certain time. You get a cryptic invitation. If you show up, you find that you're participating in this game. But alternate reality games typically don't Don't just sort of invite people into a room and say, hello, you are participating in an alternate reality game. Here are the rules of the game. Ready, set, go. Instead, it's much more organic. You sort of are discovering the game as you go. There's a core feature, maybe 4 core features of many alternate reality games is one, this is not a game kind of aesthetic is part of what you're experiencing. So the blurring the lines between what's reality and what's the game. A second is they tend to be cross-platform. They like to use lots of different mediums, even if you're in a physical space. You may be using books and posters that are on the wall and characters. If it's online or it's a blend of online, like I mentioned before, you may be using email and websites and social media platforms and videos on places like YouTube and the like. There's oftentimes a kind of community element that emerges in alternate reality games, communities that are formed organically online by others who find themselves in the game and starting to build and collaborate and build communities and share insights, and they're oftentimes built for teams. And then there's there's also a real-time progression that it evolves with the players over time, and new elements may be disclosed, or it's even possible that in some alternate reality games the whole game hasn't been fully designed or written at the beginning, but that there's a kind of puppet master or game master behind the scenes who's going to adjust and adapt the game to the decisions and behaviors and activities of those who are involved. So there's a number of examples. I jotted down a few here that might be of interest to you that you might want to check out. One that was called I Love Bees back in 2004 that was kind of a promo for Halo 2, and it went viral. There's another one you could search for called The Beast that came out a few years earlier in 2001. I think it had over 40 different websites, fictional websites that were created, and it all came with a clue, a kind of cryptic name that was on the poster for promoting a film, and then you found yourself in the middle of this game. There was one Cicada 3301 that was this kind of cryptic global puzzle that, to the best of my knowledge, was never solved, and there are people that still wonder the purpose of it. Was it some kind of a training ground to find geniuses or brilliant minds for some particular job or something else of that sort? There are lots of different questions, and maybe I'll just stop there. But there, you can do a quick search online for examples or active alternate reality games, and you'll find a number of them, or at least the ones that people have discovered that are happening. So the reason I'm bringing this up is I think that alternate reality games are a fascinating genre of gameplay that are getting a lot of traction. They help you develop research skills, they cultivate collaboration skills, they refine and train your skills for logic and observation. They transform you into a really active and engaged player. It sparks a lot of curiosity and building connections with other people. And I'm going to suggest that I think that we are coming into an era where we're going to see alternate reality games expand. Now, in some subsequent video, I'll probably do a breakdown of the companies that have come on board, and some have been on board for a long time, and others have come on board more recently, that actually specialize in the design of treasure hunts and alternate reality games. So there are companies now that this is what they do, and some of them are quite large, and some are gaining a lot of traction. They have different financial models to them. But when I see that many companies starting to emerge, there's clearly a market. I would say that we are in a culture that's very experience-driven. People are intrigued by mystery in an increasingly disconnected world where people are interacting more digitally and less in person. There's a craving for novelty and mystery, and this can actually draw people together in some meaningful and interesting ways. There's the technology that exists today makes it a lot easier for people to design alternate reality games. Like I can create half a dozen phone numbers where I could have cryptic voicemail messages. I can create websites really easily, pop up a series of YouTube accounts and videos and social media accounts, and pretty quickly I can begin to map out a alternate reality world and game for people to participate in, sending them with clues and different kind of cryptic messages from place to place. their creators today are seeking depth, and some actually YouTubers and others are starting to explore and design cryptic alternate reality game-like experiences to further engage people. We're finding marketing firms are using these. Even like the Da Vinci Code, the book and the film, there was an alternate reality game, or ARG, that was created, and I remember going through it, and I would call the final step was calling a phone number, and I got a voicemail message, which was a recording of Dan Brown talking about the film that was releasing and everything. Interactive storytelling has really gone mainstream today, and this is a expression of that has some real promise. And I would also just kind of conclude with the fact that humans are designed to crave wonder and beauty and mystery, and we are designed to be problem solvers. And even though we can sometimes use it for ill, we can also use it for good. And we're designed to kind of crave this. So with this convergence of technology, an emerging genre of alternate reality game, some success stories of the past, and people starting to get engaged with this kind of thing, I think that we are moving into an era, maybe the next decade or two, where we're going to see a lot more with this. So the next time that you see a QR code or get a cryptic voicemail, or maybe you're watching a random YouTube video from a small YouTube channel, who knows, maybe you are becoming a participant in the next alternate reality game.